I'm going to spend this last message on raising children in uncertain or difficult times with my own thoughts and recollections of being a father, a parent, over these past 30 plus years. If you don't know it, I have two daughters. They're in their 30s. I have two son-in-laws. They're in their close to the same age, okay? And I have five grandchildren. And some of the things that you learn as a parent is something worthwhile for me to share with you. First, one of the first things I learned about being a father is the word sacrifice. I usually tell parents of newborns that life as you have known it has ceased. That there is no book that you can read that can really prepare you for what is coming. You're more tired. You're more responsibility. It costs a lot more, okay? And when you're married, you have like two of you, you could spend 50% on yourself and 50% on the other person. But then when you have a baby, the baby just doesn't even take a third. It takes like 75% of your time. So all of a sudden, less time for yourself and less time for your spouse. Sacrifice. That's a very, very important thing. Because I think that's a very important spiritual virtue that Jesus always talked about. The ability to express your love beyond yourself to other people. The second word I'd like to share with you, what I've learned, is the word adapting. I have two daughters, as I told you. I have five grandchildren. My two daughters are very different. I look at my grandchildren, and my grandchildren are very different. And what it takes to raise one to love God is not the same sort of parameters you put on the other one. Well, sometimes you may be very, very fortunate. They're both, the children are all the same, But sometimes you're very, I don't want to say unlucky, but it's going to take a lot of wisdom to raise them, okay? So you have to be adaptable. You have to know what to do for each individual child, and that could be really stresses your brain. Because it's not always so like you do A, B, and C and you get D. You have to learn to adapt. You learn how to use your wisdom. The third word that I'd like to share is that being a parent reminded me of the need to think of the final product or the long goal, or that the journey takes more time than you think, then it's the final product that counts. I'm a big sports fan, and everyone knows that the first drive or the first minute of the game does not necessarily determine the outcome of the game. Football's 4 quarters, basketball's 48 minutes, baseball's usually understood as 9 innings, okay? And it's not how you play at a minute at a time, but how you played for the whole period of time. And during that period of time, you're going to make mistakes. And during that period of time, you're going to have regrets. You're going to have a FOMO, fear of missing out, a PHOBO, fear of a best option, And you know what? That's normal. But here it is. It's about always keeping sight of the goal to prepare your children, to be responsible, to be people who love God, who you pass on your faith to. And you understand the process is long, and you understand the process has mistakes, but you keep in the process and you trust God. Because if they believe in God, your children are very much children of God, just as you are. Now, I hope this final message on rearing children helps you. There's still a lot more to come. I'm going to do longer podcasts with other parents who have a lot of wisdom to share. But I know that parenting is going to be hard in this generation. I pray that the grace of God will help you. I pray that others around you will give wisdom. And I pray that you never lose hope in your pursuit and in your responsibility in raising your children.